classes will be fairly small today, so we appreciate it. We'll keep your hands ready. We'll try to keep things moving along. As you know, we had the 10-3 contest this morning across the street. Took the judge for all morning. He had a great time. We had 16 entries in that. He will give the results of that just for the selection of the grand and reserve champion this afternoon. Our first class this year, starting with the beginners. We have 4 entries here. Hadley Miller, followed by Crew Shaver. Jade Mark. And Corbin Brown. As we've done in past years, once we complete the show today, we need all of the exhibitors of show ring paddle to come to the show arena and let us know, and also the Pen 3 people. We need all of you to come to the show arena following the conclusion of the show today. Come out of the show arena, let us know what you're going to do with your cattle so we can get a list printed out. Once again, they still have some ribeyes over here, the cattlemen are saying, so help yourself. They'd like to see you.
Okay, we have a beginners class. We've got our first year beef showing. They've sure done an awfully nice job, and a couple of them came here to compete. The young man's gray and white steer that leads off is one that is quite obviously the eye catcher when he comes into the ring. One that is super sound on the ground, really correct in his angles everywhere you go. Has that show ring presence we're looking for. But it's also up there at 1275, getting in those acceptable market weights. His finish is good for where he's at. A really high quality one that leads off, and I think that's so fairly handily. Go ahead on that, young man, good job. The young lady that's going to come in second again, I think she finds her way there fairly quickly this afternoon. The steer that has a lot of good in him. He's a super good footed one, lovely center body shape, tons of power, probably has a class advantage in terms of muscularity, particularly when you get it right in behind him. A super stout, super complete kind of steer. Doesn't have the flash and wow factors that great white one leads off. This is sure a good kind that you can have 100 of them and have a lot of fun. From there, when we get into third and fourth on these two steers, there's quite a bit of give and take. And with the design of this class, there's a pretty big weight discrepancy between these two. And for me, when we get to sorting them, I think that's where the advantage is going to fall with the black steer. He just has more pounds of product to offer today. A calf that you really like, a functionality, a big body, one's got plenty of muscle down his top. We like to blow him out in terms of the shape he has in getting behind him. That's just a good blue kind of steer that has the advantage of product today. Young lady's red steer rounds out one that's given up some weight to those in class, and again, that's partially due to the formatting of this class because he came very, very well for a steer that's as moderate as he is. He weighs right at 11, gained in the mid upper threes. I can't remember, but gained very, very well for a steer that size. He's just playing moderate. He's trying to work any higher up against that big black steer here today. But a really nice project for this young lady. She's done an outstanding job. Let's give all those beginners a nice round of applause.
Okay, congratulations to those winners in the beginners class. First place receiving a purple, we have Drew Schaefer. Also receiving a purple in second, Jake Mark. Others receiving blues, then Corbin Brown and Hadley Miller. In this case, Drew received a banner sponsored by Zach Brothers of Shenandoah. And also we have happy to have Vicky Sunman here in memory of Lowell Bear, Arby Bear, Susan Barrow, and Randy Bear giving a big hurt. Yes, the banner here to the champion beginner. In second, we got Vicky coming. Reserve will see the banner sponsored by Sapp Brothers Company of Shenandoah. The crew also received a $25 cash award and a plaque to the champion home race beginner in memory of Gene Sunderman. So thank you to those people. Coming in the arena now, we have our market heifers. Leading off, we have Megan Carlson. Followed by Case Schaefer. Ella Johnson. Jake Mark, and Madeline McCoy. These are our market efforts. In that last class of beginners, I did point out a couple of those kids had passed the top 20 rated game. Jake Mark was in the 11th slot, and Coach Brown Sierra was 13th in the rated game contest.
Here on market half the class. Sure, some nice efforts from top to bottom. I think we got a very logical place to start. The young lady's flag cover that leads off is the one that's the most highly presented. And that's an obvious thing that you see when she comes in. But beyond that, one that's very very good in her feet and legs. I love the center body shape she has, and she excels at classic and on the side profile. She's by far the one that's laid in the knees by her shoulder. She's the most attractive from there forward, and by some margin, the most level from hooks to pins. The gray heifer that comes next, I think, is a fairly logical one to slip into our reserve market heifer here today. One that's incredibly powerful for me, Dan. She has that, as far as a class advantage, she's the widest chested, the biggest body, the biggest top, the stoutest ended. But I'd like to change this heifer in terms of her skeletal extension. I'd like to make her bigger and kind. I cleaned up the skeletal out of her front and her shoulder. Just doesn't have the eye appeal for what it placed ahead of her. She got the larger amount of product. From there, it gets pretty close between third and fourth. There's some give and take in these heifers. But the black heifer that's going to come in third is one that's big body, big top. She's really attractive through her front one third. We like that about her. I'd like to change her out of the hip ever so slightly. She wants to be a little short and round there. But still, I think we have that has enough extra quality to go in third. The red heifer that's going to come next is really, really powerful. Got as much shape coming down her top as any of them. We'd like to change her in terms of balance off the both ends of the body. A really long-sided heifer that's going to round out for us has that class advantage. She's by some margin the longest sided. One though that when you're getting behind her, she just isn't as wide from her chest all the way back here. Doesn't have the median valuables in place ahead of her today. But a nice set top to bottom. Let's give those kids a round of applause.
All right, in that class of marker heifers, our first place goes to Maggie Carlson. And she will receive a banner sponsored by Gavilon and Shenandoah. Our reserve goes to Kate Schaefer. And receive a banner sponsored by French Construction in Bethesda. Others receiving blues in third, Madeline LeBroy, fourth, Ella Johnson, and fifth, Jade Mark. Now we're beginning the first class of home raised steers. Several classes of these. These steers weigh between 1080 and 1205. Leading off, we have Cheyenne Sunderland. Followed by Owen Johnson. Kennedy Graham. Braden Nowhere. And then Jason Wright. This is our first class of home raised market steers.
here in this class of, first class of home raised steers. And, the hair game is strong on the boys up here at the top. My son's a wrestler at a livestock show, so I've seen more mullets in the last year. And that's a trend. Some trends need to come back. I'm not sure of that one. They've got a nice set of steers up here to share some of the hair care products with the steers. This young man's race here that leads off, I think, is the one that excels in terms of meat animal value, but he still adds a little more look than what some of our other steers offer. He's the soundest structured one. He's the one that has the most square shape down his top and down his hip. A really high cutability steer, but when you get your hands on him, he's got more finish. He's certainly adequate in terms of the amount of finish he's carrying at his weight. I think just a good, complete, sound, honest kind of a steer to lead off. The young man is going to come next out of the steer that from the side is where he works his way into second when he gets him set up. I think this is a good piano look from the side. He's really right on his top line. He's got lots of shape riding behind his shoulder. Doesn't have the power to get riding behind him as our class winner in terms of that upper hip. But a really nice, complete, functional kind of a calf to come in second. The champion of the mullet contest is going to come in third here today. Another just really functional kind of steer. His structure is what gets him over the next two, particularly out of his hind leg. Takes a longer to lose his stride off those hind two. Young lady's Molly steer that's making a really love her life right now is one that, again, I like him from his hip forward, big body, kind of a calf. He's a clean in his look. I'd like to change him off his hind two to work really higher. The shorter one, the calf that's going to round out is one that, again, from the outside, this short horn steer doesn't give us that powerful look, but you get your hands on him, he's carrying that condition for his weight. I would like to change him structurally. I'd like to pull him apart in terms of his muscle.
All right, first class of home raised steers. First place goes to Owen Johnson, receiving a purple. Also a purple in second place, we have Braden Nowhere. Others receiving blues, Jason Wright, Cheyenne Sutherland, and Kenny Graham. And I'll also point out that Kenny Graham is a senior in his class. She will receive a casual word from the Page County Academy. Our second class of home raised steers coming into the show arena now. These steers weigh between 1240 and 1275. We got Tom Myers, then followed by Evan Fast. We have Cheyenne Sutherland. She's followed up by Quentin Slater. Last two of our home raised market steers.
I didn't handle these steers because I don't think you need to. I don't think it's going to change anything. I can see what I need to see. The young lady's calf that leads off has a class advantage in terms of how he's built from the side. One that's the most correct in his skeletal angles wherever you look at him. One that's the widest and most powerful, and he's simply getting behind him. Just a really nice, complete kind of a calf. Has a tremendous amount of shape through his loin edge. I'd like to see him just a little bit bolder right in behind his shoulder. But that's just a nice, complete kind of steer to start out. The young man steer that comes in second follows him very closely. When he's moving from the side, another very sound, nice design kind of steer, big and bold, easy feet in his overall look. I'd like to power him up and get right in behind him, but with this degree of finish, if you guys are coming to the auction to buy one to eat, boy, that one sure looks like he's finished right and it's going to be a good one to cook. The young man's calf that comes in third is one that I like his balance when you're to the side. One that I wish he'd cooperate for this young man just a little better so we get a better look at him. But I like his balance from the side. Though I'd like to power up and get down the lower part of his skeleton as compared to those two steers that place above him, which is another good practical kind of steer. The Hereford calf that rounds out just run into a tough class of just good animals from top to bottom. A really big-footed one. He's sound on the go, got lots of muscle shape, gonna be high cutability. He's the leaner design steer of the bunch. I'd like to change the way he's made out of his hip. He wants to narrow the most of his pins, get the roundest and closest out of his tail bend, but a good set of functional cattle top to bottom.
Second class of home race steers. First place goes to Cheyenne Senator, receiving purple, followed by Talon Iron, second place, also in purple. In third, blue, Devin Fast, and fourth, blue, Quentin Slater. We're ready for, we do have one senior in that class, Quentin Slater, and he will receive the cash award from the Page County Cattlemen. Class 3, bring in your steers. Leading off, we have Ellison Nowhere, followed by Stevie Wellness, Colby Carlson, Jacob Mark, and Owen Wright. This is third class of our home race market steers. These steers weigh between 13.15 and 13.85. Page County Cattlemen over here, I guess, still have several sandwiches left. They're going to sell them at half price, so help yourself out over there. They have to get rid of them. Half price on the nearby sandwiches.
Here in this class of already student, I think we have one that surfaces to the top fairly quickly in terms of skeletal build. He's the soundest structured. He's by some margin the nicest in the view from the side. He's certainly got plenty of muscle down his top and out of his hip. If we change him, I think we'd like him to be carrying just a little bit more condition for the weight he's at, but I sure think he's acceptable. And he's sure an awfully nice looking one when you look at him from the side. The steer that comes in next is one that you have to appreciate. He gives me some trouble. You got to appreciate him in terms of the raw power he has down his top, the raw power he has out of his hip. He's certainly the best in terms of his handle when you get your hands on him, where he is in terms of his degree of finish. His structure bothers me quite a bit, and that's where it gets close for me moving him down the line. But he's made it to that acceptable market weight. He's very correct in his finish and his handle. Excels the class in terms of products, so we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt because he got there. The young man steer that comes in next, I do much prefer his structure, particularly out of his front end. I know this steer is just functional in his time. One though that compared to the two that place ahead of him gives up quite a bit of muscle shape running behind his shoulder and out of his upper hip. But I really do appreciate just the functionality of this one. Young lady's black baldy cap that's going to come next is one that, again, I like how functionally sound he is off of both ends of his skeleton. I just need to widen him up, power him up compared to those two that place above him. Young lady's cap that rounds out is another one that he's made it in terms of his degree of finish, one that has a lot of product. We need to change him out of his hip and hind leg to work him up any higher, but a nice set of touch calves from top to bottom and give those kids a round of applause.
All right, in that class, our third class of home raised market steers, lead off with Stevie Willis in first place, receiving a purple. Second, Kobe Carlson, the blue. In third, Owen Wright, blue. Fourth, David Mark, blue. And fifth place, Allison Olver, blue. Three of those calves made the top 20 rated game. Allison Olver's calf was 18th position. Stevie Willis was 9th. And Owen Wright was 8th in the rated game contest. We're ready for class 4 for home raised steers, so bring them on in. Leading off, we have Owen Johnson. followed by Madeline McCoy. Kate Myers, followed by Talon Myers, and then Kay Schaefer. These steers weigh between 1395 and 1425.
I gotta get it.
Another nice set of steers. I don't know how you guys' auction works, but if you're in the stands and looking for ones to put in the locker, you guys have a bunch of them. And this set of steers, top to bottom, are all correct in terms of the finish. They're all nice, productive, functional cattle. All of them, top to bottom, are good market animals. When we put in the show pieces, I think the black and white steers go surface to the top in terms of being just the most skeletally correct and the smoothest in his overall makeup. We get him on the side, he's really level out of his hip, he's level out his top, he's attractive in the way he's laid in about his shoulder. He's very sound out of both ends. Just a really complete, practical kind of steer to go ahead and move off today. It's a close decision for me in second. I like a lot of things about this gray steer as well. One that from his hip forward, I think was built very, very good. He's really good in these lines on both top and bottom side of his skeleton. He's laid it really neat on his neck and shoulder. I'd like to change him to a zip from there like last winter. We elevated that his pins. He's been a little wider in that pin set, but a close decision and sure a nice pair of steers at the top. The gray steer coming next is a powerhouse, or his chest floor all the way back. Lots of dimension of product. He's super in terms of the amount of finish he's carrying. Should be great up there high. He's probably maybe getting just a little overcooked though. As we're comparing those above him, if we cleaned up his condition ever so slightly, he'd be a bit more attractive to his side, a little looser up both ends. But a big powerhouse here to go third. Much the same goes for the next one, another calf that when you view his center body, he's big and bold and opened up in terms of the amount of product that he's carrying through him. He's sound up both ends of his skeleton. It is a show though, and we'd like to extend him from his shoulder forward. We'd like to power him up out of the upper part and see if we can carry that down in through his lower leg. But a good practical kind of steer is correct in terms of his degree finish. Young man's at rounds out is another one that's really good. He's fine in terms of getting long and loose in his stride. He's a big body pattern calf, lots of product down his top. But we'd like to change him, as we'd like to give him some more skill at the width compared to those in place of having make him more powerful, particularly out of his hip.
Third, we have Madeline DePoy. Fourth, Kay Schaefer. And fifth, Owen Johnson. As you might expect in these heavyweight classes, you can see some of the top rated game steers. With Owen Johnson's steer was 6th, followed by Kate Myers, who was 14th, and Talon Myers was 15th. And I believe Talon Myers is also a senior, so he will receive the $25 or $50 cash award from the Chase County Academy. We're ready for our 5th class of home raised steers. These steers weigh between 1480 and 1740. Mackenzie Fast leading off, followed by Dalton Wright, Maggie Carlson, and we have Cody Fast, Jacob Mark, and Carlito McCoy. This is class number 5 of our home race market steers.
Sneak by chance.
Once again, those of you who are exhibiting today, we need to have all of you in the show arena after the completion of the showmanship contest. We need all of you in there to let us know what we're going to do with your cattle tomorrow. And I might announce too that we will start with the senior showman first, followed by the intermediate and junior. Of course, that's after we select the grand and reserve champion. Attention up to the B part. We are working on our last class of home-raised steers, so those of you who are in first and second in your prior home-raised steer classes, why be ready to come to the show arena. First and second steers in the home-raised classes, be ready to head your show steers down to the show arena following this class.
Another challenging class to sort through, maybe not a dominating presence out here, but I think a steer that leads off that does it fairly handily. He's the soundest structure, he's the most attractive and viewed from the side, he's got by far the most show steer love to count for a lot of product. Just a really nice, complete one to start out. From there, you can go several different ways. The young man that's going to come in second follows our class winner most closely in terms of type and kind and viewed from the side. He's the second most square and stout when you're getting behind him at a calf that's maybe more appropriate in his finished market weight when it comes back. This calf, for me, though, is still going to stay up and I give him a lavender and went through deep in this one. Just because you have to appreciate, though this steer is way out on the upper limits of where we want him from a carcass weight standpoint, he's still doing it very efficiently. I think the young lady said he's getting 4.5. That's an incredible feat, and he carries it very well for his weight. He's not a huge orangutan frame score 9-1. That calf packs a lot of product in a moderate frame. I just don't know how many 1,700 pounders we want to have on feed, but you got to appreciate that he's still doing it in an efficient way. The young lady that comes next has another just really good kind of steer. Compared to those three that place above him, though, we'd like to see him lighter, more powerful, particularly when you get him behind him. He wants to taper to his pins and get the flattest and most disappointing out to the lower part of his lower 1/3. The young man's captain coming next is a similar story. One of the more attractive ones when you're viewing from the side profile, really neat, clean out to his front 1/3, but when you get him behind him, for a steer of his size, we'd like to give him just a bit more power, particularly down the lower part of his leg. The calf that comes next, again, a good set of just practical kind of cattle top to bottom in here. This one's certainly one of those structured, easy doing kind of steer. He's not as far along in his finish for his weight compared to some of the places ahead of him. He's also one that would like to see some more muscle from behind, but a good set of calves top to bottom.
All right, in that class of our last class of home race steers, first place goes to Megan Carlson, seating in purple. Of course, Cody Fast, also a purple in second place. Third, Carlina McCoy, purple. And those receiving blues, Mackenzie Fast, Dalton Wright, and Jacob Mark. And again, once again, as you might guess, the heavier these steers, every one of these calves were in the top 20 rated game. Mackenzie Fast in 12th place, Dalton Wright was 19th, Megan Carlson 16th, Cody Fast 5th, Jacob Martin 17th, and Carlene McCoy's calf was in 3rd place. All right, we'll bring in our reserves first in the home race classes. Leading off, we have Great Nowhere out of the first class. Our reserve in class 2 of home race, Talon Meyer. Kobe Carlson. Talon Meyer's other calf, reserve, out of class 4. And then we have Cody Fast, already in the show arena here. These are our reserves. Champions in our reserve classes now, our home race classes. Leading off, we have Owen Johnson. Class 2, we have Cheyenne Sunderman. Owen's calf weight 1135. Cheyenne's coming in now is 1270. Stevie Womas, her steer is 1340. Coming in next, we have Kate Myers, his steer weight 14 1/4. And then Maggie Carlson in class number 5, the home race, 1495.
Let's give all the Page County breeders in this town a big round of applause. Not a lot of fairs do a home raised division anymore, and I want to commend you guys as breeders for a tremendous set of cattle for feeding the world. Maybe these aren't all dominant, cleared up show steers, but these are the kind of cattle throughout the home raised show that are going to put food on people's plates, and that's really important. And there's good ones that still last in their class from that standpoint. So you should be really proud of the cattle in your county for the job you're doing of breeding the right kind of cattle for the commercial industry. From there, my job in here is still show. So we throw in some of those productive traits and rates of gain and product things. But we also then bring in some ideals in terms of skeletal build and design, structural correctness and presentation. And I think that, again, you guys need to be proud that there's cattle out here that not only from a production standpoint are really good, there's some out here that are good production animals, but have a little extra wow factor, and you should be proud of that. I think you're in the home race division. It's an extra special thing to raise your animal from start to finish and have it be a champion at a fair. So it's a great thing when you guys sort these kids out and recognize them for that. Anybody can go buy one. It's really hard to raise one from conception all the way to the end and have it turn out the way you want. I think there's some cattle out here that these kids should sure be proud of. I'll put down the microphone and go out and congratulate our champion home raised one. I think there's one out here that surfaces fairly quickly for me. Let's give all these kids a round of applause for your champion.
Congratulations to all of these home race champions. And our champion goes to Davey Willis, Sarah Wayne 1340. You will receive a banner provided by Steve and Diane Anderson of Shenandoah, and also Good Sales and Service here at Brindle through the Page County Cattle. And our reserve goes to Maggie Carlson. You will receive a banner also by Steve and Diane Anderson of Shenandoah. And in memory of Jim Winstrand, given by the Winstrand family through the Page County Cattle. Again, congratulations to all those home raised exhibitors. Coming up next, we will have our purchase market steers. Looks like we have 4 classes of this. Then we'll pick our overall Grand Reserve champion. up, we have Ripley Sunderland, followed by Renee Green, Shannon Sunderland, Levi Green, Lene Green, then we have Ripley Sunderland and Eli Warwick. This is our first class of Purchase Smart Exteriors.
challenging set of steers to shuffle through here. And we have some steers that did meet some gain requirements, and I think those gain requirements are important because we have to do what we're doing with the input costs that we deal with. They have to put on weight, they have to put it on efficiently, or we're going to be in big trouble. The steer that's going to lead off the class is one that I think surfaces both ways in terms of he made the gain requirements, but in terms of show steer look, he's sure the one that sticks out in this bunch. When we get from the side, he's super effective for his throw on third. He's got the most muscle out his top, he's got the most muscle out his hip. He's the soundest structured one. I think the gap that this surfaces it does so fairly handily. The steer that's going to come in second is one that follows him from that look to the side. He's long, he's attractive. He's not a scout, he's right in behind his shoulder and on his upper hip. We like to have him be more muscular, work up against that steer that starts ahead of him today. But another really practical kind of steer. The young lady scout that's going to come next is another one that's functional in terms of his kind. He's big body, he's loose structured. Obviously, he likes to get out and go. But a calf that meets our gain requirements and I think deserves to be where he is. From there we get into some things that, some steers that we have to sort on. And a calf that if he had grew just a notch better, I think this one's going to work up a ways in terms of his skeletal build. When we view from the side, follows our class winner most closely in terms of type and kind. Just needs to have a little more gas in the tank. Much the same for the steer that's coming next, another calf that's sure functionally stride, got some shape, got some finish. Needs to have more growth. The gray steer that's going to come next is one that's attractive in his view, but where we'd like to change this steer as we watch him travel off his hind two. He wants to get a little, quite a little uncoordinated, and I think that probably came to fruition in his performance here this year. The young lady's calf that rounds out again is one that's got a flashy look. He's haired up, he's big boned, just needs to have quite a little more punch to work any higher in class today. But let's give all those kids a round of applause.
That first class of purchase steers, our first place purple ribbon goes to Shannon Sunderman, and second, Eli Lori's purple ribbon. Then receiving the blue, Riley Ricky Sunderman. And the rest of the steers receiving reds. Renee Green, Levi Green, Renee Green, and Ricky Sunderman. I guess we're ready for the second class of purchase steers. Leading off, we have Bridie Deans, followed by Kane Wellhausen. Then we have Skylar Masher. Noah Comer. And another entry by Bridie Deans. These steers weigh between 1,200 and 1,300 pounds. This is second class of purchase market steers.
give and take in the pair of steers that work their way up to the top of this class. I think this pair works up fairly quickly, but for me, the white steer is just more honest and practical in his kind. Where I think he excels the pair for me the most is when we get him out on the go. He stays so much more collected, particularly off of his hind two for me here today. And then when you get your hands on him, he's more honest in terms of the square shape behind his shoulder, though he's not as heavy. I think he's more correct in terms of his finish and where he's at in his life and reaching his end point here. Just a really good, honest, practical one that is awfully complete for me to go ahead and lead off. I think the black and white steer comes in second. Does so fairly handily. He's a striking steer when getting set up on the side profile for sure. One that sticks out and comes in the range. In terms of his skeletal build, if you start picking him apart, figuring you keep on the go, he wants to come up in his top line, and then as we watch him travel off his hind two, it starts up at the upper part of his hip. He's shorter and steeper from those hooks and pins, and as we watch him go, wants to get pretty mechanical off those hind two, but a really nice steer that runs in on the tough one up at the top for me. The black steer that's going to come next, I think, is a logical one to follow in the third, just a really practical, productive kind of a calf. He's sound on the ground, he's a big body, he's got plenty of muscle from end to end. Balances up fairly well from the side, just runs into a deep class up there on the top too. From there, there's also some give and take there, bottom pair. The young man that's going to ultimately come in next is one that, in terms of meat animal shape, is just simply going to open up with a more desirable carcass. He's got quite a bit more shape right in behind his shoulder. He's quite a bit more expressive out of his hip down through his lower quarter. A steer though that reads a bit hard in his kind and then come to fruition in his game. Young man, black and white cap is going to round out his one that's sound. He's loose in his general makeup, but in terms of muscularity, he's the most disappointing from his chest floor all the way back to his pins and carries that down through his lower 1/3. Give those kids a round of applause. Nice class today.
In that class, our first place goes to Riley Means. See the purple second reserve is also Riley's. Then the third, a blue, Kane Wellhausen. Then followed by a couple of red calves, Noah Homer and Skylar Masher. We're ready for class 3 of our purchase market steers. Leading off, we have Ethan Fast, followed by Jason Wright, Stevie Willis, and we have Cody Erickson and Logan Green. This is our third class of purchase market steers. These weigh between 1305 and 1370.
start here with this red steer, one that has a lot of really good aim all the way from the ground up. Calf is big top, big belly, big hip, big footed. He skis most everything you're going to look for, and in this class comes to the top and does so fairly quickly. Taking nothing away from the steer that comes in second, a calf that's one of the better ones we've seen thus far today in terms of being powerful from end to end. Has really opened up the top side of the skeleton, big hip kind of a calf. Excuse me. He's loose structured or loose enough structured as we ask him to go. One that I think is an awfully nice steer, just kind of running into a buzzsaw here on the top of this one. Young lady's calf that comes in third, again, is one that in a lot of classes we've seen so far today. She gets him set up and viewed from the side. He's a really, really attractive steer. He's thick from end to end. He's not quite as big footed, quite as big boned, not quite as ultimately powerful as two that place up ahead of him today. Again, running the deepest class of steers we've had thus far. Young man's calf that comes in next is another one that we appreciate the power that he carries down the top side of his skeleton and out of his hip. By changing it all, I'd like to fix his structure off of both ends. And that's where it gets to be closer to me between him and the steer that's going to round out. This calf is more functional, is more practical in his skeletal build off of both ends. But we're at that point where we're going to take him to the rail, and the steer that place ahead of him is just going to crack open with a bigger eye. He's going to have more shape through his lower quarter and stifle. Just a more powerful steer that's going to carry more pounds of product. A nice set of calves top to bottom to give those steers a round of applause.
In class number 3, first place goes to Ethan Fast, receiving a purple. Second, Cody Erickson, a purple. The rest receiving blues. And third, Stevie Wallace. And I'll point out that her steer was 10th in the rating game. Fourth, receiving a blue, Logan Green. And fifth, Jason Wright, a blue. We're ready for our last class of purchase steers, class number 4. Leading off, we have Ella Johnson. Followed by Kane Wellhausen. Noah Wellhausen. And we have Carson Wellhausen. And also her second steer, Carson Wellhausen. This is class 4, these steers are going to be 1,417.25.
sure a challenging class of sort here to round out these purchase steers and some different things to do. Again, we're trying to take productive traits, but we're trying to also bring in show steers as well, because it is a show at the end of the day. And there's one steer here that certainly rises to the top as being the show steer in the bunch. A calf that grew well in his own right, but in terms of his skeletal design, I think he surfaces fairly quickly. He's the one that's level and attractive, and he's looked from the side. He's big-footed, sound structure, loose made. I think that from the show ring aspects, he surfaces and does so fairly handily. From there, you could do a lot of different things, but I went 4 purple deep in here because the next 3 steers, though not show steers, are just tremendous beasts in their own right and what they do. The young lady's calf is coming next, I believe. She said gained a little over 5 pounds. That's unheard of. And there's steers in here that are getting in the upper 4s that are 3rd, 4th in the grade game contest. And that's unreal. We have a family in our county that competes hard at the Beef America out of the state fair. They've got steers gaining 4.5 pounds. But I don't know, I've never seen them have one gain of 5. They're as good as there is in business. So you have to be really proud of the job of feeding cattle that these other 2 did. Now, 1,700-pound steer is ideal. I don't know. I sell all our calves to feeder cattle to my brother-in-law. He feeds 4,000 head and he buys our calves every year off the farm, has for the last 6-7 years. And I listen to him complain about how much money he loses feeding cattle, so I just go ahead and sell them to him and let him have that part. But I don't know if 1,700 pounds works, but if they can do it at 5 pounds a day, it's pretty hard for it to not work in some way. I'm sure whoever taught all those kids to feed knows more about that than I do. You have to commend, give those kids a special round of applause for the way they fed. Calf coming next follows much the same, gives up a little bit in terms of power here or there. Those 3 steers you can mix and match and go any way you want to. Young lady's Hereford steer that's going to round out again. A good meat animal in his own right, one that has lots of muscle shape wherever he's sound. Doesn't balance up as well as a couple of the others. Gives up a little bit of that astronomical gain, but still grew well in his own right. An interesting but tough set of steers top to bottom. For whatever those kids' goals are. I'm sure that not everybody that shows the steer's goals are the same, but we have to commend the job of feeding that a lot of those kids did.
Already in that class, our last class of purchase steers, receiving purples, four purples, I guess. First place goes to Kane Wellhausen. Second, reserve, Carson Wellhausen. In third, also Carson. Fourth, Noah Wellhausen, and a blue, Ella Johnson. And I want to point out now, as the judge just told you, the steer down there wins the grade game contest, a terrific 5.07. And to my knowledge, that's maybe the best we've ever had here at the Page County Fair. Maybe somebody knows something I don't, but that's so good. 5.07 pounds today. Also, Carson had the second calf in the ready game contest. Noah Wellhausen had the 4th, and Kane Wellhausen had the 20th. So 4 of these calves were in the top 20 in the game. Okay, congratulations. Not correct? Coming in now are reserves of each of these classes of commercials. Leading off, we have Eli Voorhees. His steer is $11.95, followed by Brownie Means, $1,300. Cody Erickson, $13.35. And in that last class, Carson Wellhausen, the steer, $17.10. Those are reserves. Coming in now, we'll bring in our champions, those commercial steers. Out of Class 1, Janice Sonderman, her steer. Weighs 1160. Brownie Means. Out of Class 2, 1200. Out of Class 3, Ethan Fast, 1305. And in our last class, we just judged Kane Wellhausen, 1445. Coming up shortly, we want to announce the winner of the Penetry contest, the junior breeders. So we'd like each of you in that contest, there should be 16 of you, please come to the show arena. We'll have you stand in front here and let Dan, the judge, announce the winners and talk a little bit about them. So please head to the arena, those of you that had a Penetry this morning.
Let's put our hands together for our purchase steer division. Again, in this particular division, we had some good cattle and different criteria for what you refer to as good cattle. We had some of the most incredible performance steers I've ever had the opportunity to judge. But then also we've got to flip it back around too, that if you didn't hire me to weigh them or read a piece of paper, or you hired me to evaluate the cattle for how they're built. But we have to keep those productive traits involved as well. And I think we have some very suitable steers we get out here in terms of being functional. Some of the classes were tougher than others, obviously, and some had parameters that eliminated some steers. But when we get them out here, I think we have calves that are functional in their foot shape, they're functional in the ankles they have, their shoulders and hips and hocks. Calves that have a look when we get out and view from the side. But most importantly, I think all these calves are going to open up with medium value in terms of the amount of square muscle shape they have down the tops and out of their hips. These four that we have to pick from and we'll bring a second place in to have a peek again are all very, very nice steers and coming out of their respective classes. I think the champions are fairly cut and dry one for me. Give these kids a round of applause. I'm glad to shake their hands.
Okay, congratulations to our champion, reserve champion, Purchase Steers, Ethan Fast. is our champion, and reserve goes to Bradley Eames. I forgot to announce earlier, Carson with her champion rated game steer, she'll receive the trophy sponsored by Arlen and Ann Meyer of Brenda, and also I think she receives a cash award also. In that last group, also the champion Ethan receives a banner sponsored by Page County Cattlemen, and Riley received that banner also provided by the Page County Cattlemen. I think we're ready now to announce the winner of our 10-3 competition this morning. Our judge was, you were not here yesterday for the Peter Calf Show. Dan Robert was here doing that. We'll turn it over to him and let him talk a little bit about the show we had this morning, and we'll introduce the kids. Maybe I should go down through that, Merlin. Do I have a list of those? Okay, first of all, let me just introduce the kids. Maybe, I don't know what order you're in. Why don't you raise your hand if you would, please. Mark Hardy, Natalie Johnson, Katie Ryberg, Dylan Ryberg, Ella Johnson, Jade Dahman, Jillian Dahman, Drake Wagner, Dale Wagner, Madeline McCoy, Carlina McCoy, Allison Johnson, Luke Wellhausen, Kane Wellhausen, Noah Wellhausen, and Carson Wellhausen. As I said earlier, if you count here, I think we've got 16. So it wasn't just a few years ago, we only had 3 or 4, so this is what's happened here later. This is really great to see. We had a total of 48 steers across there. So Dan had quite a job. Let me say, we made a comment to Merlin, our superintendent, last year, how he appreciated the show and how knowledgeable these kids were. So, and I think he probably found that out again this year. So I'll turn it over to him. Dan?
All right. So thank you all once again for having me down to work with your junior feeder program. And again, I will second what you said, the amount of knowledge that all these young people show when it comes to feeding these cattle is exceptional. And I like to think of what's been going on in the ring, and I participate in the ring, and I participate in the ring. That's kind of the NASCAR of what we do. This is a Chevy lot over here. This is where the money is made. This is the real closest thing we can get to the real world in terms of 4-H and cattle feeding. And so it teaches them some real lessons about the practicality of what we do. And without what's going on over there, without people feeding cattle, people slaughtering cattle, people eating beef, there's no fun in here. So very, very important what they did over there today, and had many good conversations with kids. Very quickly, I told Merlin that having done it last year, I'd be able to come back with some harder questions. And I certainly had harder questions this year, and that reflected in a lot of stares, some polite stares. But some of the important things that go with that is that if we're using an implant, it's one thing to know where it goes. It's another thing to know why it goes where it goes. What's in that implant and how it affects your animal and to what percentage or those types of things. So those are important questions. If we're worming an animal, and it's pretty easy to say, oh yeah, I gave my animal a worm. Okay, for what? Why did you worm them? Because there's worms inside them. That's why we give them a wormer. So I made some comments to some of the kids as we went along today, is that you can take what you learned over there today, or what more you want to learn, and you can turn it into static exhibits over here next year. Here's my cattle parasites, and here's how I treat them. Here's different feed additives or different implants that we can use, and here's how they affect the animal. So that's the wonderful thing about 4-H. There's crossover projects that can happen. A learning experience on one side can translate into lead my answer to my second question, especially when the family know who you are. So I asked all these kids, what was the single most expensive cut of beef in their carcass, in their animal? Anyone? Well, it's a tenderloin, right? That's the most expensive thing. That's what we get a fillet out of. It's pretty easy. So I'll ask them, what's the second most expensive thing today in the beef cattle carcass? Anyone? Yes? Tongues. Can you believe that? Tongues. My job is in the beef packing industry, and just this week we settled our prices with Japan. Tongues are $11 a pound. That's right. And that's the expression I got over here. But every single animal in the house of that animal, from the lips to the tail, is worth an amount of money. And it's important when you're a young person to know that. So those are some things we went over. Feed efficiency, Optiflex. What's Optiflex? Do you use it? What rubber do you use? What is your modified? Is your distillers wet or dry? Are we talking about a dry matter basis or an as-fed basis? So those are some of the questions we asked, and I've been asked to do a showmanship this year in each division, and that showmanship relates more to how these kids answered questions, how they interacted with me. You know, are you professional? Are you loud and proud? I tell my daughter that daily. Are you loud and proud? Get loud, get proud. Be confident about what you're doing. So did you meet me with that amount of confidence in what you know? But we'll get started with your awards for your showmanship. And you have a very good group of juniors out there. But this year's junior showmanship winner is Jaden Damon. Jaden? There's Jaden. Congratulations, young man. Excellent job. So Jaden was very loud and proud, very confident in his answers, and was very, very well informed on his health and nutrition of his animals. Your intermediate champion, this young lady too was very, very well versed, came in. I told all the kids, tell me about your project, and then I'll ask the questions to fill in. She could have kept talking, and she knew her project very well. She hit me with most of the information I needed without asking a question, and that's Carson Wellhouse. And of course, the questions, just like the expectations in regular showmanship, get tougher the older you get. And this young lady is very well versed, very professional in the way she presented herself, eager to learn, and very knowledgeable. And that would be Allison Johnson. So I certainly prefer that we've done that this year, because it's hard to weigh both the cattle performance and the cattle quality with the horsemanship knowledge and showmanship knowledge. And so then we'll do a reserve and a champion when it comes to the actual cattle themselves. So some notes about the reserve pen. These cattle started out around 725 pounds and ended up at 1553. The lightest weight steer was 1505, the heaviest was 1610, with an average rate of gain of 4.13 pounds, and a very consistent set of steers from top to bottom, and that would be Luke Wellhouse, your reserve. And your champion set of steers over there, average weight coming in right around 650 pounds. Ending weight was 1552, so those cattle will all put in 900 pounds. Average rate of gain of 4.38 to 4.48. That's pretty impressive. And those cattle, when you looked at them in the pen, were very, very consistent, very uniform, and excellent in their performance. And that award would go to Carson Wellhouse. All right, thank you. Hopefully you'll have a big crowd of these folks doing this again next year. It's a great practical experience. Give them all one more round of applause.
junior feeder grading aid also goes to Carson Wellhausen. Most of you would not know this. I want to really thank Dan again. I think they started at 8:30 this morning, and he worked with those kids till almost noon. So he spent a lot of time. He enjoys doing that, obviously, as you can tell by his explanation and stuff. So congratulations to all these kids, and a big thank you to Dan for coming down and doing that. Just give Dan a big hand. All right, we're ready for our final go-around. So let's bring in those cattle. I think maybe we got them we'll have them lined up here shortly. So the reserves, please head to the show arena. We should have in the beginner group, Jaden, Mark and Heifer, Casey Schaefer, home race, Maggie Carlson, and reserve in the commercial, Riley Means. Please send your steers to the show arena. Years. And after we finish that, we need all of you exhibitors today, everyone, to come back down here in the show arena and tell us what you're going to do with your steers so we can set up our sale for tomorrow. Every exhibitor today in the market division, we need you to come back to the show arena after the showmanship contest. Okay, we're in our final drive here. Once again, reserves. We have Jade Mark, his steer weighs 1380. That's out of the beginner group. Mark and Heifer, we have Case Shaker, I believe 1180. Our reserve in the home race, Maggie Carlson, 1495. And our commercial group, Riley Means, steer weight 1200. Let's give those reserves a big hand. Champions, we're first place in each of these groups. We'd like you to come in the show arena, please. Coming in now, we have Crew Schaefer in the beginner group, 1295. So we need to steer. Our market heifer champion was Maggie Carlson. Her steer weight 1110. Cruz was 1295. Stevie Willis out of the home race division. Her steer weight 1340. And out of the commercial group, Ethan Fast. His steer is 1305. Before he selects the champion here, let's give Andy Van Arm a big hand for coming down to do our show today. As he told me, he said he will go away with at least 2 friends when he leaves today, the champion and the reserve champion. So thank you, Annie, for coming down.
Let's give all the kids that showed a Mark Animal a big round of applause here. This kind of culmination of the show is always who won the Grand Champion Market Steer, and I'm sure all the other species when they have their respective champions. It's obviously a great day for those kids in those species as well. But it seems like at a county fair, the big grand prize is the champion market steer is the one that everybody seems to worry the most about. And we've sure got a nice set out here to pick from our beginner to our market heifer to a home race steer. You sure got to be proud of, and then our 1 hour purchase division. I think you, as a county, you should be proud of the quality that you have out here to pick from for a champion reserve. My job, we sell bulls, we sell bred heifers. We sell our steer calves as feeders off the farm to a commercial feedlot. But I also work with kids. I'm the assistant FFA advisor at the Audubon Community School. I really enjoy it. I travel around with a livestock judging team. They're 11 to 12-year-olds, but they're passionate. And we've been having a lot of fun this summer. We were just out here the other night at the year contest. We've seen the champion steers in a lot of counties, and you guys should sure be proud of what you guys have represented you here as well. Also, back the performance end on these cattle has been unreal at your county. It's certainly way out there in terms of what I see going across the country throughout the year from a performance perspective. So I want to appreciate those kids that brought those kind of cattle here today as well. They're, for what they do, some of the best of the best. We heard just a second ago that the cutout values, the tongues are worth $11 a pound. Those of you that are feeding, there's obviously some professional cattle feeders out here. My game is bulls and breds and some phenotype cattle every once in a while. My kids are super passionate about the show industry, and we try to do a good job there. I hope that those cutout values get to realign better. I know what the input costs are. I hope they get to where they realign better with those packers, those cattle feeders that you have here in Page County. It's time for them to start doing some healing on their end as well, and I hope that happens. When it comes to your support sale here tomorrow or whatever that is, support these kids. Our county support sale was by far the best it's ever been. We usually, kids get $250 to $400 support. This year, the average is $775 every kid through the ring, all the way up to $1,300. And I think the reason that is, I think that we have a crowd, there's not people with more money than they've ever had, but I think there's people that appreciate the work ethic of all these kids here at the fair, no matter what species they have. There's a lot of people that don't want to work anymore, and these kids that are leading these animals aren't those people. These are the kids that are going to help us move forward. These are the kids that we need to be proud of and award them for their efforts. I hope you come to the support auction and do that tomorrow night. It's an important piece for these guys too. These projects aren't cheap. That support money helps offset some of those costs that those kids will have. Conversely, you exhibitors, watch who's at the support auction and patronize their businesses. Those people don't have a lot of extra money if they're willing to come here and give it to you. Make sure next year when you're looking for your feed, you go back and get it from those that came and supported you here tomorrow, whatever that is. That being said, we come out here and pick our champion steer. I think it's a nice set of cattle, but I think there's one that's just far and away above the rest of them. The reserve decision will get quite a little bit closer for me. With that red steer down there on the end, it's pretty easy, our champion. The decision for reserve is incredibly close. You could go any of the 4 ways here and not be wrong. The young man with the beginner steer has one that's sound enough in his overall build. He's massive in his center body. He's incredibly attractive from the side. A calf that's big back and correct in terms of his finish. When you get your hands on him, at his weight, he's fat, he's ready to go to kill. A steer that checks a lot of boxes. The one out here that's the highest quality, as far as pure quality, is the Mark Heifer. She's sound, she's big bone, she's super attractive. One that could be one of those cleaners, could show either way, market or breeding heifer, however you want to do it, however you want to feed her. A heifer that's incredible in terms of to look at. When you get her out here compared to some of these steers, and she's down there just at 1,100 pounds, there's just enough over here to be the reserve champion market animal. The home raised steer that comes next is one that we certainly have to be proud of. And like I said, in the realm of showing these things, there's just a little something extra special about getting on the banners of the home raised one. And that's a steer that's super complete, super correct in his skeleton. Is he as big and powerful top? Is he as big hip as a couple of other ones out here? Maybe not. But he's awfully complete, and he's sure in the hunt. The white steer down there on the end, again, a steer that's blown apart in terms of his chest floor and rib. He's big hip, he's finished. He's at a little bit lighter weight. And structurally, we want to question him just a bit out of his front end. He's a little upright in his knee. It's a little coarser out of his tail head and hip. So there's a lot of give and take here, and it's very, very close. You could go any one of 4 different ways, and I probably wouldn't argue with you a whole lot. My job is to pick the one I like the second best. I want to commend your champion here. I think he's going to represent you well at the shootout. That cow calf that won, boy, that's an awful good cow. So you should be proud of both of those cows. They're going to represent Page County very, very well up there next week. I'll look at these steers one more time and pick us a reserve.
Okay, congratulations to our grand champion, Ethan Fast. He will receive a banner sponsored by Dwayne and Dwight Lundgren of Essex, and also the Anderson family and Buckland Farms through the Page County Cattle. Also receive a $50 cash reward. Our reserve goes to Drew Taper, banner sponsored by Hertzberg Brothers Cattle Company through the Page County Calvin. And also will receive a $50 cash reward in memory of Clark Robert, will be presented to him later during the livestock show. So congratulations to Grand Reserve and all these champions' respective classes. So that concludes our steer show portion. Now we'll jump into the showmanship contest. So senior showman, please head to the show arena. Senior showman, come to the show arena. Okay, we're gonna bring in our senior showman. We'll pick 3 out of each group. Senior showman, head to the show arena, please.
All right, it's been a long day, it's really hot, if you haven't noticed. So I'm not going to take a long time on showmanship. I watch it throughout the day. I love having it at the end. Sometimes it's at the beginning, you have this kid win showmanship, and then the rest of the day, if he doesn't win, he looks at you like he's going to murder your family. So it's nice to have it at the end so you can see how these kids behave throughout the day. I think there's some seniors that do an awfully nice job. I interact with them throughout the ring, but in showmanship, my job isn't to do quiz bowl per se. It's to evaluate how they bring that animal in and get it set up. So thanks for you younger exhibitors. I think there's a couple individuals out here that stand out. for you younger exhibitors to watch them when you're coming in off the lead. Watch them walk them into place. They take that last few steps back and in, walk those heifers into that natural stance that they want to land in. That takes a lot of work at home to get them to do that and do it consistently. And there's some kids that obviously have put in a lot of work. I think we were assigned to pick 3 here, correct? Yes, 3. All right. So out here, I think all these kids did an outstanding job. There's a couple individuals in particular that stick out to me. There's one that's going to come in 3rd here today that run into his tough set that does an awful nice job in terms of self-confidence, in terms of body posture, getting that calf stuck where it needs to be and keeping it stuck. Our individual that's going to be 3rd today is a young man over here with this Hereford steer. From there, we run into a couple of young ladies that have been standouts all day in terms of presenting their animals, walking them into place, having those animals be stuck and where we want them to be every time, keeping them there, keeping them in line where they need to be. It's very close between these 2. The young lady that's closest to me is going to be our champion here today, though. The young lady down there in the glasses with the reserve anglers will be up in the
Class, our senior division, our champion was Lacey Slater. She will receive a traveling trophy and also whip sales through whip sales service to Page County Cattlemen. Second place goes to Dan Sharon, trophy sponsored by Erickson Show Cattle, Monica Connie, and in 3rd place, Quentin Slater, who also received a trophy sponsored by Erickson Show Cattle, Mike and Connie. Also, the $50 cash award will go to each of the top junior, intermediate, and senior showmen in memory of Harold Eisen. Intermediate showmen, please head to the show arena. Intermediate showmen, please come to the show arena. Coming in now, we'll have our intermediate showman. Once again, we will pick our top three out of this group. Intermediate showman, come on into the show arena.
Now the calves are really getting hot and tired, so let's speed her up. The young, there's a really nice set of intermediates out here. Let's give them a big round of applause. again, I think we have a trio of individuals that rise to the top fairly quickly. But I think there's one that, to me, wins fairly easily as well. That I just got nailed every time. Of course, right now, as I'm talking about it, she decides to pee, which is the young lady there that had her champion market efforts, a standout intermediate showing for us today. From there, it gets a little closer between the young lady with the yellow heifer and the young lady with the white steer. I think both do an outstanding job. I think though they're just little subtle differences as far as being just a little bit more calm and relaxed as an individual. Maybe just a little better job of hiding some of the flaws in their animal with their foot position. The other calf's getting tired and cranky. The young lady with the white steer is going to be our reserve. The young lady with the yellow and white heifer will be further out and do an outstanding job.
Congratulations to our top intermediate children. First place, Maggie Carlson. She will receive a traveling trophy and a plaque sponsor. I'm not sure who, but she will receive a plaque. Reserved for second place, Bradley Means. Also a trophy sponsored by Erickson Show Cattle, Mike and Connie, and Madeline McCoy. A trophy sponsored by Erickson Show Cattle. Again, Mike and Connie. Congratulations to our top 3 intermediate children. We're ready for our junior showman, so head to the show arena, please. Junior showman, come on into the show arena.
give these junior exhibitors a round of applause. You guys have some really good mentors in your upper groups, and I encourage you. That's the way my son learned showmanship. My son's 12. He's very, very good. But he didn't learn it from me. He learned it from sitting and watching. Because, I don't know, but you parents, you try to tell them what to do, and you just well forget it. But go find some kid that brings showmanship a lot and tell them to just do what that kid does. Sometimes that works better. So I encourage you guys to watch showmanship, especially go to some of these bigger shows and sit and watch showmen. You'll see some of the most elite showmen in the country right here in our junior program in Iowa. So watch those kids, mimic what they do, big things with body posture, self-confidence. When you get into big shows, you might only get 10 seconds to look. So you've got to, your self-confidence and your body posture is going to be huge. And here in showmanship, a couple things for you juniors to work on. There's a couple kids that do a nice job with it, but you want one hand on the wheel, lean your calf, and one hand on your show stick about 2/3 of the way up towards the top. Don't hold that show stick in the middle, because then it gets to flopping around like a Jedi Knight saber thing. And it just doesn't work. And two hands on the wheel, when you're pulling across that rope across yourself, you're not going to win a tug of war battle with these things, especially at the end of the day. So just keep one hand on the wheel, and hopefully the ring staff, we had a great set of ringmen today. Give them a round of applause for helping referees. If you have that calf lock up on you, don't stand there and do a tug of war. Just wait. Somebody will come help you. Set that calf up right where he is, the best of your ability, and they'll get somebody there to help you. So work on holding with one hand up beside the head. Keep that head up while you're leading. That's a couple spots where some steers got their heads down between their knees. One hand up towards the top of your show stick. Your body posture, stand up straight, be confident. You don't have to smile. I know your mom will tell you every time, smile at the judge. I don't care if you smile. I want you to have fun, but I know that we're in here taking it serious. I mean, it's competition. County Fair brings out a competitive edge between some of your best friends, but make sure you leave here with more friends than you came here with. That's what you got to do at the fair. That's what it's about. It's not about who won today. It's just one guy's opinion. He's probably not very talented. So just have fun. Work on your body posture at home. Work on walking those calves into place at home. There's a couple of young ladies and a young man that I think surfaced to the top of this group fairly quickly. Our champions, this young lady right here closest to me, this heifer to my left. Our reserves, the young lady right ahead of that red steer there with that heifer as well. And our third overall here, this young man here with Market heifer right here to my right. Give us a big round of applause. I appreciate you coming today. Thanks for the great show.
That it?